All right.
I think we Gucci.
We back in it.
That's what
I have my
happens when we
voice.
retire.
I am COVID free, by the way. I took another test and I'm COVID free.
So you
Wait,
took
with the
2
swab?
and you good?
So I took one just to take because I first heard about the swab. I first heard about the free test, and then I took another one because I hung out with my sister for her birthday and we went to a bar in Tampa. I had not been out at all, and we went to a bar in Tampa. I didn't want to go, but it's her birthday, and she's like, yeah, I don't know. My sister likes to guilt trip me if I don't do things. So I was like, you know what? I'll go. I'm just gonna stay like to myself, keep it cool. Well, my friend caught it. And let me know. And she was like, I think it's from that day. But my sister tested negative. My brother-in-law tested negative. My other sister that was with us tested negative. Her homegirl was positive, but I guess she got it from like
Someone
days
else.
before. Yeah. And I wasn't either, but we were all we were all together as a group. So I don't think she got it from being out. I think
Right.
she got it from something else because all of us being negative after getting tested, but she tested positive first before we tested negative. So I was freaking out and I went and got tested again. So as of 6/20/20, I am COVID free.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so COVID free. I see you.
Yes, very COVID free. And I honestly haven't gone anywhere. Technically with my job, I'm not supposed to or allowed to participate in nighttime activities as I work in the office daytime.
So we're not going bowling after this? It's a dub.
So, I mean, obviously, they can't police everything. They can't police everything that I'm doing, but they heavily suggest that we do not go out. We're not allowed in our own venues.
So how has the whole just reopening process been, especially like lately with everything spiking back up? Like when it comes to your job?
So with when everything first started and we opened our doors back up, we were very cautious. We made sure to take all the safety measures that we needed to so that we were following all the state guidelines and the city guidelines in order for a healthy reopen, also for the safety of our customers. But now that everything is spiking back up, we're taking extra measures, and they have me putting out signs everywhere. They have our marketing director working on a bunch of different projects to ensure that our customers know that we're taking extra safety precautions, as well as participating in the mask on rule and trying to make that a night-long thing versus just through the entryway.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, we have sanitizer stations all around. There's little safety protocol, like posters posted all around the venue, as well as in all of the bathrooms, as well as in the front of the venue before you walk in. Like we're taking as many measures that we can as possible to make the venue safe for customers to come to, and also for when customers leave, for our employees to come back to.
Right.
Also with our employees, if they even show a simple cough or a sneeze, they're either sent home right away or they have to call in and notify their manager that they're feeling any type of way. And then they have to stay home, get tested, and until they get their results back, they cannot be around us. If their roommates, if they have, or boyfriends, girlfriends have COVID, they're required to tell us. They signed a contract to tell us that if anyone they know or been in contact with has COVID and they know, they have to let us know. So basically, we're taking all the safety measures that we can. But like I said, I mean, it's a dangerous world out here.
Yeah, that's important, man. Because not only just like culturally what we're going through right now, when it comes to like just the CDC and health wise, everybody thinks they have the answers and everything. They want to reopen shit. Like we've been through so many different phases. New York is going through like phase 2 right now, reopening shit. But now you're seeing that we don't really have a firm grasp of what's going on, because we thought we were Gucci. And out of nowhere, especially in Florida, you get like this 5,000 cases, whatever the case is, in a day. And it's like, oh, we might got to go back to the drawing board and really understand what's going on. That's why, like, just being outside, y'all just got to be safe, man. A lot of places don't have like you have to wear a mask type shit, but
Right.
it would definitely help if you had one. You know what I mean? We was out earlier, we ain't had no mask, and I was just like, what's going on?
I think they're going to make it a state mandate to wear your mask and for it to be required. And I'm not opposed to it. I'm not. I believe it's 40. It helps you by 40%. It's a 40% less chance just by wearing a mask that you're likely to contract the virus. So I think it's smart. I mean, it's not, in my opinion, it's not that big of a deal as long as you act appropriately.
Right.
Like, I feel like we can make it pass if we all come together and behave as one. If everyone wants everyone to be healthy and they care about everyone else's lives as well as their own and their loved ones, I think that we can get past what we're going through. But I don't think that the economy nor the people were ready to be back open.
Correct.
I think now if we experience another shutdown, it's just gonna fuck us over even more, especially money wise. It's just gonna fuck us up more because we were open for so little bit of time to not really make our money back, whether that be in a job setting or not. It's just not realistic that if we shut down again, shit's gonna open back up. Nor it's gonna be worse than if we would have just stood closed and stood in our homes. But a lot of medical professionals were saying that we weren't ready to open, but our genius president said that we were. So I guess everyone in Florida said, fuck it, yeah, we're prepared, but we weren't.
He knows all, you know what I mean?
I don't think it was prepared. I think that he's a fucking idiot. He literally said, if we stop getting tested, less people will come up positive.
Facts.
Like, facts, right? Yeah, that is facts. I mean, facts, right?
But for real, he's really trying to stop mass testing in order for this to happen. It's just like, yo, bro, that's why I'm interested, Jay, since everything been going down, what have you seen from your side? Has shit spiked up crazy in your place specifically, or?
Yeah, I would say it got really busy, but it was more so our peds area for possible PUI patients. It started to fill up a lot more. They actually intubated maybe 3 people now, and that we were at a point where we didn't need to do that, but we had 9 cases. Now I don't even know the number because we were steady at 9. Somebody would come up COVID, but not really have big symptoms. But now
COVID.
Yeah, but now we're oh shit, we have to intubate them now, or well, rest in peace later. You know what I mean? So. It's gonna go right back to the same shit. They're already preparing for it. On top of that, with hurricane season too, so they're just trying to work out resting areas inside the hospital, locked in with these individuals with COVID. So I'm I don't know, man. It's so mentally fucking draining just to even think about it, because when the first wave happened, knowing what we had to do and. It's so funny because they had to cut their losses with individuals because they couldn't bring anybody in, and they just had to look after the ones that were there, so they didn't need healthcare workers. So in a sense, it's you're putting certain individuals at risk because we decide that it's essential to go out and party.
Absolutely.
And be around a mass of 150 people, and then one person coughs, and well, you have 150 people, so you can do the math.
I don't think people understand how much of a toll it takes on the hospital specifically.
Oh, they don't know.
They're oh, it's COVID, they're gonna be good now, but the regular person who has a problem with their ankle or some shit can't come in.
Yeah, because that's the risk. Essentially, that's what it is. If they come out this, gonna get to the point where yo, I have a bad headache, this and that. I'm all right, well, call your doctor, have them prescribe you something. Don't come here.
Right.
You have a problem with your leg. Is it broken? No. Swelling? Put ice on it. Get out of here. That's what's going to happen. They're going to shut down the ER. It's going to have this little domino effect, and essentially I won't be the person that they're going to say, all right, we don't need you, because I'm going to be on the front line again, going and grabbing and bringing them back, get their scans done. So, yeah, you guys basically fucked me. Not
but
you
listen,
guys,
you were the one that said it.
Damn.
You were the one that said it early. Listen, don't come to me, you know what I mean,
exactly.
when you're out there having a good time and then you catch it, you know what I mean, because I'm going to have the one to deal with it. And fast forward, whatever it was, a month or 2 months since you said that, and it's
here
the
we
same
are.
shit.
So I haven't seen anybody not practicing anything. I mean, 6 feet, social distancing, I mean... Granted, people are going to be close. All right, if you're going to be close, just know what you're supposed to do. Wash your hands, sanitize. But if you're going to go into an area where you're what, if you have to second guess wearing a mask, you shouldn't be there. I mean, that's...
Absolutely.
And I agree with that, and that's my point. I don't argue with the mask thing just because I know people don't want to be home. Yeah. Remember, the last time we spoke, I said sometimes people need that. Sometimes people need to be around a social interaction to find peace within themselves. They go crazy, they go mad in the house. Not everybody can be that introverted individual and be satisfied with it. But wear your mask then.
Exactly.
Take the precaution to be around those people so that other people around you can be safe as well. Because if you make wearing a mask okay, I guarantee the next person's not gonna complain. They're gonna be like, okay, you think it's cool or you think it's straight that we wear a mask and whatever, then I'm gonna wear one too. What's the big deal? Since we're all doing it, I could do it too.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we act as one and we say it's cool to follow the right procedures in the correct way about being around each other, and if we feel sick, stay home type of thing, versus, oh, I gotta be out, it's nothing but a cold, but really you could be giving out this virus.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? Like it speaks for itself.
Let me just explain. This is the best way to explain how scary and how fucked we are. With all the visitation, even though they changed visitation hours in the hospital, it doesn't matter because I went into a room with a patient. Thank God, like at the point where I was like, had to go in there, interact, grab them, go over to get their CAT scan, whatever. I'm not disclosing any HIPAA. Brought them back. Yeah, of course not. They don't.
This podcast shut down.
That's all right. They probably shut my ass down, but I still got to go back. Fuck them. So within the week later, after this one individual kept going and visiting them, so I have not seen this patient nor interacted with that patient since, and then they allowed a visitor. So after they allowed that visitor, all of a sudden they got like all these like contact precautions on the door and had to move the patient up. I'm like, what the fuck? Like this patient a week ago was good. They're like, oh, COVID. I'm like, oh.
It's that easy now, huh?
Yeah, COVID. And that's how they have to say it. They're like, well, were you... She was like, well... Everyone who was in contact the last 3 days had to quarantine. When was your last time? I was like, I was in there a week before you guys brought visitors to her. Oh. Or him, or whichever. So I was just like, wow. It's just like that. You can be in a room with a patient, don't even know. I mean, I wear everything. I wear 3 layers of fucking masks. I come out looking like somebody been sucking on my face. And...
Your forehead do look a little darker.
Yeah. I've been out in the sun because I didn't want to chill inside for lunch in the hospital.
My man Jay strictly got the forehead tan.
Yeah. So it's that's
the farmer's tan on his face.
Yeah, that's essentially what's been going on. Fuck yeah. All right.
He's like,
now he's laughing.
He said
that last one. Very accurate.
That's what it is, man. That's why like 2020 is so crazy, bro. Like we're doing like this whole health crisis, social crisis. It's just like so much to deal with at one motherfucking time. And like I'm blessed. This is our first time really sitting down and really recording the pod in what, like fucking like 2-3 months, like in person.
I think even more than that, man. I'm just gonna say cut off beginning of the year. We're just like, yeah, it's a wrap.
And we were good at it, you know what I mean? Because at first we were like, yo, just make sure. Let's find out what works. Does that work? All right, cool. Let's just record like that just in case. And since then, we've been rolling. So, like, I'm blessed to be back here to record with y'all in person, see, like, y'all energy in person and all
see
that.
my new blonde hair.
New blonde hair, wavy on them, talk to them.
Still no braces.
Still no braces. See, you talking all this shit, you going to go back to braces. They're going to be like,
low key, I miss them.
A little more work.
Don't play with me. I actually just seen my dentist finally in between all of this. And he was like, your teeth actually look pretty good. I could tell you're wearing your retainer. And I don't have to go back for another 6 months. So.
Look at you. Keeping it on point.
My grind.
I thought you were just going to eat mad Doritos and them shits were just going to...
Some ass.
I do eat. I honestly, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I stick true to my word. I eat any and everything. I don't show remorse. I eat any and everything. Now I got my
bro,
I mean, not ass.
Wow.
Not ass. Not ass. That's too far. I don't like dingleberries.
Shout out
to I'm not into it. I'm not into it.
Not the dingleberries.
Yes.
Listen, anyway, just to get back to what we were saying.
I don't think there's too much bad that came out of
this
not
year?
too much, but I wouldn't say not too much bad. I think this whole time period was an eye opener to all different aspects. My personal life, a lot of things have happened in this time. Also for myself, I've had a lot of self-reflection and self-growth, and also some setbacks, you know,
Right.
like
Absolutely.
But it's all a learning curve this time, and especially like being home. But also, I think the world around us. I think everyone is seeing honestly how caring people are, and also how selfish people are,
Right.
and also how hateful people have been. Because the way that people are acting now are the people that they've always been. I don't think anybody should think that this whole situation really made us new people. It made us really see who we are.
Yeah.
So, and who we are as a whole. So throughout this
fact.
whole,
That's a
honestly, throughout this whole COVID situation, I guess I would say like life lockdown, it taught us lessons, and it took that veil off of how people really are and what we thought situations were. In the time being 2020 hasn't really changed from 400 years ago, and I think we all know what I'm referring to.
Yeah, motherfuckers are still racist.
That's it. Listen,
And it's in their heart.
Like me being like furloughed from my main job, I work in the service industry, so I see it every day, bro. Just like people just being privileged, just used to the way shit used to be, things of that nature, or just looking at you a certain way. It's just like you would think in 2020 we would make vast motherfucking progress, but no. That's why a couple weeks ago when Dave dropped that fucking that special, literally like he recorded it the week before and dropped it the week after. And we all got hyped, like, yo, like, it's new Dave. Like, he was about to talk some shit. We didn't know he was about to get on that shit, though. Like, so, like, deep the way that he did. And, like, I appreciate it. And, like, if y'all haven't seen it, go see 846 right now. Like I really can't put into words how much of a, like, just a philosopher. Like, less of a comedian, more of a philosopher and a human being.
You know when they say that the funniest people have the hardest lives in the deepest past?
Yeah.
They've been through the most shit, and they laugh things off, and that's why they're so funny, because they could find comedy out of any situation because they've been through the ringer. I feel like Dave is definitely one of those people, and then he showed us it because his comedy is dark. It's always been dark.
It's real.
It's real, honestly, but it makes us laugh because it's real life shit, and it's really things people find humor in, because they're like, okay, it's a fucked up situation, but you learn and you move past stuff, and you can make a joke out of it, because if you don't laugh, you're gonna cry. And I feel like he was just sick of making jokes all the time, that it was just a moment that he needed to actually get it off his mental, what he was feeling, versus making everybody else feel good. He wanted to get it out, and I think it was beautiful. It gave me chills listening to it, because it's like that was anger from him, from the situation, from just knowing how in the world can you kneel on someone's neck with your hand in your fucking pocket for 8 minutes and 46 seconds.
And act like you won't get the wrath
and
of
act
God.
like nothing, and then you have 3 other officers around you.
That shit was real.
Letting
when he
it
said
happen.
that shit, he's like, listen, with everything going on, what'd you say?
He's like, and act like you won't get the wrath of God.
That's
That shit.
exactly
That's
what it
what gave
is.
me goosebumps the whole time. I had to pause it. I'm like,
high five.
I was like,
that was the
"God damn,
point where
bro."
that's what gave me chills, because it's like, you're right. You're totally right. How can you feel so okay? You're murdering someone, but you feel like because you have a badge, you're going to make it right.
Yeah.
But you don't got to make it right to the people, and you don't got to make it right to the state or whatever the fuck, your job, your career. You got to make it right with the man above before you close them eyes.
Or even him just bringing to light, like, how could you be comfortable
With
like,
yourself.
for instance, like, when he brought up, what's homeboy's name that killed?
The cops.
Yeah.
Shit. I
forget his name off the top of my
I
head.
mean,
It's
it's a
like-
prominent situation.
But it was a great point where
Exactly.
he's like, listen, like they responded ASAP and they Swiss cheese them. So why can't and how can't you understand how we feel as a people seeing our own getting cut down right in front of us on our phones and not expect the backlash and the outcry that's been going on?
Rat-a-tat, tat, tat,
Ex-
tat, tat,
tat,
and
tat.
that's that.
And it's true because like since everything's been going on, you keep on seeing like the resurgence of that Tupac clip, like we hungry, we need some food, and it's so crazy because it was probably like 22, 23 when he first like made that comment in that interview, but it still stands true to this day. It's like you can do as much as you can, just like asking for help, like we're asking, but it comes to a point that you got to put your motherfucking foot down. That's why the last time we got together and really like spoke about this shit like it was our first time addressing exactly what's going on in this nation, and we got to like the bare bones of it and got real with it. And it's like it has to happen, because if we keep on asking, we're not gonna get no type of fucking progress at all. We just gonna be in the same motherfucking spot that we've been in since Martin was here. Know what I mean? So this is the first time, and I think I said it on the last podcast, that I've seen, like, number one, just feeling happy at different walks of life, just being here and using their names. Like, I always see people that I didn't expect to still put in work to this day. Even though y'all timelines may be regular, you see the music, you see the funny shit and all that, there's still people out here still fighting for the real cause, you know what I mean? And it's continuing to go, like the Ma Arbery shit, and just making sure that people get indicted. The Breonna Taylor's, that's her name, her last name, right?
Breonna Taylor.
People still hitting Twitter, IG,
until they get justice,
making sure they get justice. And that's exactly what the fuck we need to do in order to put ourselves in that position to get the justice that we need.
Doesn't that suck, man, that you gotta annoy somebody to the point where they find it okay, like they're just all right, yeah, let's handle it.
That's what we do.
I mean,
fuck?
no change happens overnight. So if a system, like, it's systematic racism. So if a system is set to be a certain way, it's going to take a long time to change it.
Exactly. But
because it's been years and years that this has been the type of behavior that was accepted and not noted or not checked how it should have been. But I believe that this, what the word I'm trying to say, this generation, the millennials, this generation has it, and I think we could be the ones to make that change, because we're technically part of the generation, but more so, I mean, you know, a couple years younger than us honestly are doing a lot, and they're more knowledgeable.
Isn't that like
they're
Gen
more
Z?
Gen Z. Honestly, Generation Z are doing their shit, and they're on the streets, and they're fighting for what's right, and they're not giving up, they're not letting up, and that's what needs to happen. Because even a lot of the times in my own life, when I really started noticing things kind of resurfacing to where it got my attention, has been since 2013.
Right.
Wow.
So,
That's
you know, in 7 years, it took 7 years for us really to put our foot down. It took 7 years for me to go out and actually protest. It took 7 years for me to purchase clothing that's going to go to great foundations, and me to put money in other people's pockets that are fighting for these causes. And I take blame in it myself. I didn't make myself educated enough to know that I can do better as a person, even if it was for free, and just advertising all of these different causes, signing different petitions. Like, since 2013, I've been signing petitions, but do I repost them? Not so much. Nowadays, I'm reposting everything. I'm putting it on my Twitter, Facebook, because I realize we can make a change as a whole. And it took for these younger people to really speak it out and not show that they're not afraid. I mean, for me to be like, holy shit, me either. Yeah. I'm not afraid either, because I got y'all just like I feel like y'all would have me. And it's beautiful to see Puerto Rico being the way that they are. I don't know if you've seen the mural, the Black Lives Matter mural. That's my island. That's our island. You know what I mean? That's beautiful for our people to believe in a cause that we believe in, because, as you know, we come in all different colors. So black ain't a race, it's a color.
Right.
So I don't know. I think I'm very proud of where we are as a nation, as far as like our people, even, you know, throughout the countries. You see Europe is doing it, like, all collectively along all of the different countries, they are protesting for Black Lives Matter. This shit means something, but it took till now for us really to put our foot down. And I just want people to never let up until change really happens. I want people to vote. I think voting is so important. I spoke to a few individuals on my Instagram, because I kept saying, vote, vote, vote. Every time I posted things, I'm like, yo, y'all go vote. Wait till y'all local elections go. Y'all need to vote. Look into the people that are running and see what their values are. People wrote me and they're like, what do you mean vote? We're not going to change the president. It starts local. It starts local. Then it goes a little bigger, and then it goes to presidency. But if the people want it and the people keep pushing for it, what can the higher ups really say?
I don't know if
because it's gonna start a war.
Yeah,
it'll go to war.
I don't know if they noticed that the people that we put in the House and Senate and all that, well,
affect all that.
They can veto the shit that the president's trying to push out. That's not right. So essentially, for those who swear they vote don't matter and shit, that's essentially the problem of why shit don't happen. And some people would tell me, "Oh, they're gonna change it. They're gonna rig it anyways. So why even do it?" I'm like, "Bro, you had the action. You still went out there and said you wanted to make a change, regardless if they fucking tampered with it. You knew who you wanted. You did what you needed to do as a citizen who's got those rights that everyone's fighting to have. So then use the fucking rights that we have and make some shit happen, regardless if they're gonna tamper with it. You still did something. There's other people who wish that they can come in here and change out their dictators and their oppressors and shit. Like even though we're still fighting our oppressors, we still have the opportunity to do it by voting and going out there and protesting and being a voice. So if you're mute, you're a problem. So don't be mute. Being mute doesn't even mean like not going out and talking and shit. Not voting is being mute. It's like I'm not gonna sit here and just stand for nothing.
I'm a big believer in like sweat equity. So just you getting out there and putting the work in is enough.
Exactly.
So for someone to be like, yo, my vote don't count. When's the last time you voted? Did you do your research? Do you understand what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, like did you research who's
Candidates.
in your area to understand like what's going on? Like what do they believe in? What does this person believe in? Did you do any of that? No? All right, cool. Then
you can't say nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Making an excuse. That's the shit that gets me tight. And it goes back to what we said about Gen Z. Like they don't give a fuck. They're like, yo, like we see the injustice going on right now. Like there ain't no excuses. We understand that it's just injustice everywhere. So we got to make sure that we get that shit out of here, whether it's, and I'm not kind of proud, but I'm very proud of like the sports area, the sports arena.
Yo, I wanted to touch on that.
They've been coming out crazy.
I think it's wild. Okay, so I wanted to close out on the voting ideal. I want y'all to think about this. If you're one of the few that do feel like, my vote doesn't really matter, I don't want to go out and vote, or I don't believe in it, we don't have good candidates, find someone to vote for. Find something to fight for. Because if voting didn't matter, our president wouldn't be on Twitter crying about how he doesn't want ballots to be mailed in because they would be rigged and they would be sending it from different countries. That's some bullshit. That means that voting does affect and it does matter, and he's scared.
Did you see how defeated he looked the other day at Tulsa? He looked defeated when he came back, when the whole fucking crowd, they said 1 million people bought tickets. No, bro. There wasn't 1 million people there. Backstreet Boys brought more people to that.
But honestly,
a whole section empty.
If it wasn't that deep, it wouldn't be that deep. But it's that deep, and y'all are seeing it. So I want everyone to pay attention to what's around them, because we always talk about how we're not all politically sound, but in a time like this, you got to get yourself right. Yeah. You have to figure out what's right for them. But circling back, I'm very proud of sports going the way that they are. NASCAR, all of ESPN, you feel me? NBA, NFL, everyone's MLB, everyone is putting their foot down and speaking out because they need to speak out. But I will say it is late, because when Colin was doing, he was doing in 2016, only a few really knew it wasn't about the flag. And it wasn't about disrespecting our troops. But no one could see it. But now they see it now. And I'm glad that they see it now rather than never seeing it. But I wish people would have opened their eyes up before, because this isn't new. This isn't because of COVID that people want to be racist. People have been racist. This hate has been in their hearts. And this systematic oppression has always been around. And it's all minorities. But definitely right now, the color of your skin affects it a lot more.
But even then, that shit still bothers me to this day, because it's like all these corporate companies, they don't give a fuck. They're just making these comments because
they have to.
They will be, quote unquote, canceled if they don't. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like they don't believe this shit. They just know that this is exactly what they need to do to continue doing business.
Because they want that money.
That's the shit that pisses me off.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who's really... You don't know who's
well, you
really
know,
down
because
for it,
the people who are down for it told you that years ago.
Yeah.
Years ago. There's multiple, like they brought up Ben and Jerry's, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like for instance,
sure.
Random, just Ben and Jerry's ice cream. They've been for whatever cause it is, whether it's fucking gay rights, fucking Latino, black, everything. They've been with us since early. That's no problem. But then you have, these NFL teams coming out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere and
suck my dick. What are you talking about, bro?
Yeah, no.
What are we talking about?
What blew my mind was NASCAR. Just NASCAR in general.
Stupid.
I was
somebody
like, NASCAR?
In your fucking
NASCAR.
Like,
Bro, nah, I thought that was like, no, not even to sound like, I don't know, racist shit, but I thought it was just predominantly just the white culture, NASCAR. NASCAR wouldn't give a fuck about no Black Lives Matter movement.
And then now they want to make everything Black Lives Matter way. That's cool.
Because they want to get...
Change these laws.
Thank
what
you.
the fuck do I, like...
We don't care if you support, just change it.
Shit, right, you renaming the street Black Lives Matter, cool, whatever.
That's like giving us a totem, being like, hey, is this good enough for y'all?
We did this.
Yeah, I'm like, but that didn't change nothing. Yes.
Change.
I could rewrite something. Hold somebody accountable. Put leaders in our communities that will check us rather than these cops or somebody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody got tight with me because I was for defunding the police. But I didn't say it in a connotation where I'm like, fire them. No. Let them continue to do their job. But all the money that's being poured into them, it's not putting any rec center in the hoods of all of my fellow brothers and shit. Sorry, I'm getting like, that shit getting me emotional. You know what I'm saying? Like,
completely agree.
Fuck, man. I'm like, you start pouring money into the communities, start showing you care, so that way they can see that, so that way they can move better instead of putting us against each other. Like,
start fucking policing the communities that you're setting and not causing havoc in these motherfucking communities. It's really that simple.
Yeah, that shit
that's why like people see those fucking like those trigger words, defund the police, and they just go, if you believe the opposite, they go crazy. Just like, do your fucking research.
I think it's crazy when I seen a lot of people speak back to me when I posted links to different petitions to defund certain police departments with high cases of police brutality against
LAPD,
black individuals. Yeah. They're like, oh, well, what are you going to do once you defund the police? And it's like, you're a fucking idiot. You know how much money is getting poured into these police departments that they're not utilizing correctly, or all this military money that's going into what fucking war are we preparing ourselves for? Right. No one's going to war right now. So why don't we flip that money, turn it around, and use it towards our community? Or we could have gave ourselves another stimulus check.
Correct. Boom.
So,
save the fucking people.
Y'all don't realize that all defunding the police isn't completely get rid of the fucking police station, you duck. Like, it pisses me off. Like, everybody was like, oh, well, who you gonna call if something happens? Bitch, when I call them now, shit don't happen. So what you mean? What are you talking about? What are you really telling me? Because you're not telling me shit.
They're mad that the money is not being circulated to better things rather than the people that's potentially gonna shoot you call them on accident.
Well,
like,
the evidence...
No fucking sense. You sound dumb because you don't even look into what it's saying. It's not defund to get rid of. It's defund to lesser the amount of money they're given to do a simple job that half of the time they don't even fucking do. And I don't hate police officers. My cousin is an NYPD police officer. I don't have anything specifically against police officers because, you know, we need... Yeah, of course. I mean, there's always going to be a bad person in the batch, but... they're there. So it's like one is ruining for everyone, or a few or the handful is ruining for everyone, then that's what that is. But until y'all push for change, we're going to have to push it to where everybody suffers.
My evidence and my point towards the whole defund the police, specifically like in my experiences with the NYPD, like I was in New York when de Blasio had stop and frisk. I was a victim of that shit twice. Damn. 2 times, 2 separate occasions. I think I may have mentioned it here before. Have I talked about this before?
No.
Okay, cool. So, long story short, like the first one, I'll never forget. Like I was walking home from work. It was like fucking 2, 3 in the morning, ass crack of motherfucking dawn, and I'm walking. It's winter time. It's snowing. It's cold. I have my hands in my pockets.
That's the fucking worst.
And the motherfuckers who were meant to serve and protect my community decided to stop and frisk me, even though they had no probable cause. And I was literally a block down from my fucking crib, from my building. So they frisking me and all this. I'm like, bro, you're not going to find nothing. And I live right... Do you live here? Because I live here. I live right down the motherfucking block. You terrorizing me right now. And that's exactly how I felt. And ever since, like, even before then, but that just showed me exactly what was going on. Another case, I was with my mans and him and I got stopped because they said, we had some people doing graffiti around here. We just wanted to make sure because you guys, he had a backpack on. The fuck does that have to do with anything, dog? So my whole point in bringing those up is that all the money that you poured into stop and frisk, you could have helped us in our community. You could have helped us, whether it's the schools, whether it's the playgrounds that we have going on, whether it's foundations, whether it's whatever it is. Put that into the community and not into these fucking programs that are meant to fucking terrorize all of the people that you're supposed to quote unquote serve and protect. Get the fuck out of my face. But it's the people that have never been through that and don't understand that be like, oh, these are terrorists. Like, even Trump saying that shit, like, oh, everybody protesting, like, we gonna make sure they get arrested.
The looting, the gangsters, like, oh, okay.
This nigga's stupid.
But
he doesn't know rights.
When motherfuckers win championships and tear the whole fucking city down, you don't say shit. It's different. Oh, let them get it out of their system. Fuck are you talking about? Fuck are you talking about? People are angry. I don't agree with the stealing. But that's not everyone. It happens with certain things, but I understand what the situation is, and you kind of just got to take it for what it is to go for the greater cause. Right. I've seen a lot of businesses say, hey, our business got broken into, but we get it. Yeah. We totally get it.
But you know what? It's so funny about that, too, because every time someone asks me, well, I got asked this when I was like, yeah, I'm trying to get out of work so I can go meet with you to go to that D-Land protest. She's like, you're not going to go out there and loot, are you? I'm like...
Why is that the first
thing that's what
about?
But I sat down. I sat with her and I was like, all right, let me show you this first before I answer that ridiculous fucking question. And it was that young black lady that was on there talking about the social contract of the people in the city. So essentially, after when we had our city, quote unquote, and they took it, burned it down and everything, everyone was fine with it. When they went in there, just destroyed our own black community. Cool. So now when you break that social contract with us as individuals who, all right, we don't do this because this is bad, but you're here to protect us to make sure certain things don't, correspond the way they do. But when you have individuals who know you are lesser, so that way they flaunt these, you know what I'm saying, Gucci on yourself and everything. You're showing it like, hey, this is what I got. You constantly tease them individuals. And then on top of that, you're oppressed. You're put in a situation where you can't spend that last dollar to get that next pair of shoes because that last dollar you have is to feed your kid, but you're not going to eat. But they're going to still come up to you and show you and flash it. You know what I'm saying? And then, God forbid, you get struck down by the person who's supposed to protect and serve you. So then you got this constant cycle. All of a sudden, you're broken. So that social contract that you signed on with this city, that you don't own shit. So when they're telling you you're burning down and looting, that you never owned it. So it's not your city. You don't own it. We don't have any prominence of something where we say we own. So when they say black-owned business, no, it's a black-owned business in that area, but it's still being paid to the whiter half. Exactly. It was never instilled by a black priority or somebody who made that their staple, and it's black owned completely. So when they're like, oh, you're looting and breaking in, I'm like, well, you broke the social contract, so they're mad. So why are you mad what's stopping them between a window and that product?
The wrath of God, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm not telling her, I was like, yeah, the first thing in my head is to go to D-Land and fucking break into what? What the fuck is in D-Land for me to break into? Right. Nothing. And that's not the whole point of going out there. What is the protest? I don't see riot and fucking looting in protest. Someone show it to me, and then I'll rebuttal what I have to say. But other than that, I looked at her. I'm like, listen, you just look at this video. You tell me how you see it. If you can sit there and say but after that, then I'm like, all right, well, I know where you stand. And I'll just tell you this kindly before I walk off. I'm not there to loot. I'm there for a different cause. Sorry.
So I would have been like, listen, have you ever had something that you had to fight for?
Yeah. And I'm saying,
did you go out there in the streets with all your like-minded people and fight for that same thing?
Honestly,
it's so funny. When I showed her the video, she just sat there speechless because she didn't see it from that point of view, because it's so hard to explain that point of view because they're like, oh, you're just justifying it. I'm like, you know what, motherfucker? At this point, yes, I'm justifying it. What's stopping me from going in there and grabbing what you flash in my face every fucking day, telling me I can't get it? And it's just a fucking glass that's going to stop me from getting it? Now you've pissed us off and you've robbed from us. So when we decide to take back what's not even ours that you already took, I'm like, bro, at this point, yeah, I'm all right with it.
Let it burn.
Yeah, you could be mad at me for saying that. I'm not going to do it, but I'm not mad at it.
I don't think it lasted that. It didn't really last that long either, which was a great thing, is that people realized, okay, we tried it y'all message way, and then y'all threatened us with, what was it? Martial law. Yeah. As soon as the president threatened martial law, I started seeing a trickle effect of all the protests getting bigger and more peaceful and sending a greater message. And it really was a big fuck you to all those people in higher power that don't believe that when people really want some change to happen, they're going to try in every single way to make it happen. And even sitting back and being like, okay, it didn't work the angry way. We're going to show you that we are smarter than you.
Exactly.
That's what bothered me.
It was a beautiful
initially,
thing to watch.
because it's like,
It is.
you know, you have the angst and everything, so shit is gonna burn, right? Mm-hmm. But after the fact, I feel like those who don't understand just expected riots everywhere, and it's just like, do you not understand that we have a point and
There's levels.
1,000% there's levels, but there's a point that we're trying to prove, and that is just one point. You know what I mean? That's one area that we can go to when we're angry, but also we can also galvanize together
Exactly.
peacefully in order to tell you exactly what we need to have and how we're feeling. Because at the end of the day, they're still going to put the bricks out. Who put the bricks out?
Exactly.
They're going to put the bricks out.
Exactly.
They're going to fucking fire the fireworks at fucking 3 to 8 a.m. that like they've been doing for the past like fucking week, you know what I mean, in cities, and blame it on us and shit. It's like, no, we don't do that, bro. That's not what we do. And it doesn't matter how many times you try to like put us in positions to make us seem like we're fucking wilding out, we're doing all this. No, that's not what we're doing. We're very, very clear on what we want, and what we want is justice, dog.
I'll tell them this, man. If you really wanted, like, if we really wanted to, with the amount of people, like, you really think you would stop us if we actually use force? You know, we're that angry to the point where we want to, but we know morally that's not the right decision. But for that one brief moment, I just want them to really zone in, because if we decided we're gonna snap that twig that's up here, America would be on fire. To be honest, America would be on fire.
Right now. I'm telling you, bro. Because like I said, I guarantee you, a whole bunch of these corporate companies do not agree with what's going on here, but they have to say that they agree. So we already did it, bro. That's why, like I said it on the podcast before and way back, we're the generation that's going to change it. We see this shit right now, though.
That is true.
I think everyone has to go through, or this situation as a whole for everyone has to go through its cycles. When you get upset, the first thing you want to do is be angry. And you want to be mad and you want to show out. And then you sit back and you think, how can I actually make a difference? How can I actually make this change to be in a better world for yourself? And like I was saying, I've been going through some personal things where I'm having my own self-growth. And I went through the stage of I was so angry to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. And then I reacted, and then I reacted on my emotion. And then I sat back and reacted on my emotions again. And it was two different emotions. Once you get that anger out, once everyone knows that you're angry, you can sit back and try to be, you know, more monotone about your delivery, but you still want change. So every day you're fighting for that change, but you're fighting for it in a different way because you were able to get the anger out. So I think we are still getting our anger out, but in a better way. And I think eventually, with, you know, the voting process and everything, we're going to start getting that, like, we're going to start easing our pain by making actual changes. And it's all going to have to be set in its certain motion. And nothing happens overnight. This shit is going to take years to really, really change. But as long as everyone stays persistent, it'll go its own path. But the looting and the rioting, that was only a portion of it.
No,
and
that was just a
the
brief
initial
moment
anger.
of anger. Yes.
Yeah, it was that initial, like, everyone.
Fuck you to that whole state. That's basically what it was. It was just like, you know what?
Minneapolis and shit, that's like ground zero when it first happened. So it's like, of course we're going to have
for sure.
shit burning and things that I need.
And that's what, exactly.
Go.
No. But that's why how I forget his name, the main creator of Bape, he was like, I understand, like, if you're mad and like one of the stores got hit, he's like, yeah, Nico, there we go. And he was just like, you know, it's a fucking store. It's a building. It's a piece of cloth. He's like, if it goes, it goes. But he's like, I understand why it's happening.
Right.
He's like, I definitely understand. This is anger. And if you could take it out in any way possible, and if that's the way it has to be taken out at that very moment, let it be. It's just, it's a piece of material. This is a life. Material can be made. Life can be made. But once life is taken, it's gone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You could recreate the same thing out of fabric, but you can't recreate that same human being and that individual soul that was taken. So that's why I was like, you know what? I've seen it from different standpoints with different brand creators and everything. I've seen someone who's like, all that for a left shoe. He's like, you guys should be so proud of yourselves. And I'm like, yeah, I can sympathize with you and be like, yeah, that's your business, and you know they went in there, but I'm like, but at the time right now, you should see why it happened.
It's time, yeah.
Because you should see how you
Bobby hundreds, bro.
Yeah, him too, and I was just like, who was, I don't know if it was Chris Russell or for the round 2 in Miami spot that got fucked up, or
hit.
yeah,
LA too.
But freaking it was LA that was more prominent though than
Sean got hit.
yeah, and fucking Daily, I think they had
Daily
some.
got hit too?
No, but I don't know. I'm not too certain, but they had something to say about it, and he was just like, I think he was the one with the comment about the left shoe or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, I'm gonna let you have your piece, but somewhere with me, I was just like, you gotta understand, bro. When you portray yourself to somebody who's watching you, and all you do is this, and you don't show any kind of like any connotation that you care about certain things that are out there. If you see something, you be like, hey, this isn't right. I mean, it just takes maybe one post, and then they're like, oh, you're a civil human being. You actually care. But fuck it.
The reason why I brought up Bobby Hunt is I think he was the one that really brought it in perspective. And then we'll switch over to a different topic. But he was the first person that I saw that owns like a fashion brand and stores everywhere. That was like, we're the ones that taught these kids to value these things this much. We're the ones that told them to value the hoodies and the sneakers and the shirts over a life. So I understand why when all this shit is going on, they will want to come in and grab what they can. I understand that. Mm-hmm. That's cool. This can all, like you said, this can all be, we got insurance, whatever the case is, we can get that back.
Yeah, your
these
business.
lives is different.
Yeah.
And also just everybody that has gotten together at these protests, one thing that I have noticed at the ones that I've been to, the people who get them together really had everything lined up. They understood and projected that to everybody that was in the crowd. Listen, this is what we're here for. We're not here for no bullshit. They made sure that they had people that were controlling the traffic. Made sure they had people there to like calm people down. Make sure that we were there for one singular, purpose. And that purpose was not to, fuck the police and start this nonsense. No, we're here to prove a point. Word. And I think that's why, like, going to what you said, like, we grew and we understood from the initial time, a month or two back when it first started happening. Mm-hmm. And now we grew to understand, listen, we need to galvanize and get together and understand what we need to do to get our point across. And now you're starting to see, like, I believe they're having a bill being passed in George Floyd's name that they're banning chokeholds, the no-knock entries into people's houses.
That's for Breonna Taylor.
And also, there was one more that I forget off the top of my head, which is a big one. But this is like never been seen before. And
until
now we're seeing it pass.
Let's just keep that fucking train going, man.
But that took through people.
We're here and doing what the fuck we need to do.
That took petitions and votes. All those petitions were the reason why those laws were put into place, because someone who was able to put everything into words and actually reach out to the individuals that needed to be touched to get these laws passed. They knew what to do. They just needed people behind them. Right. And then they put out their message, and it was fluttering through social media. Social media was a huge bonus for this. Mm-hmm. It fluttered through all of that, and they were able to get enough signatures and enough votes for them to make a change and make a difference. So yes, signing these petitions, passing it along, sharing it, voting, all that shit makes a difference. If you were to just sit at your house watching it happen, or everyone sat at the house watching it happen, nothing would have made a change. There's so many changes happening actually pretty quickly.
Yeah. They did take action fairly fast.
They're starting to take action faster because no one is letting up and everyone is trying to play their part. So it's working out better right now, but we can't stop. We just got to keep it pushing. Honestly, right. I've seen, speaking of keeping things pushing.
Wait, real quick before we transition. I was having this conversation with my little mans, and I will say before we transition, don't underestimate the power that you have.
Oh, for sure.
The platform that you have.
I like that.
Because I know, like, specifically this conversation I was having, he was like, yeah, but if I say something, like, I have this many followers, people, that don't mean shit, bro. Like, you understand, there's people that watch you. All of us have people that watch us, and you don't even know. Mm-hmm. And they have people that watch them. You know what I mean?
And that's where the influence starts.
This is where the influence
that's where
is.
that trickle
You-
down.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, even if you're just starting off, whatever the case is, bro, if you stand for something, people are going to understand that and go to what you're saying. You know what I mean? They may not agree with it. They may agree with it, but the whole point is that they understand where you're coming from, and they will listen to exactly what you're saying. You know what I mean? So that's where the whole thing, our vote don't count. Your vote counts, bro. Your thought counts. You have the power to implement change if you choose to use your power to do that. You know what I mean?
For sure. I think it's beautiful that different artists are using their platforms because that's a big one. That is a huge one. Artists use their platform. People that are making music nowadays. T. Greasley for
Who's T. Weasley?
T. Greasley. Y'all know I still talk like I got my braces in, but T. Greasley made a song with Lil Baby called COVID, and he spoke on it, on everything going on. And imagine if someone felt like they didn't want to say anything or they felt a certain type of way, they could be influenced by their favorite artist, their favorite rapper to speak out and say something. A lot of individuals that come from racist homes, but they like hip hop music. I'm sure they have a whole different view on what's going on than maybe their parents or their grandparents have on it, because their culture or their lifestyle, entertainment, everything is influenced by the black culture, the hip hop culture that celebrates Black lives. And they feel a different way. I've seen a lot of kids come out. I've seen videos come out that kids are talking back to their parents like, you can't say this stuff. I don't believe in that. But it's because of their favorite artist, favorite actor, favorite whatever the fuck author has spoke out and said something, used their platform, or even just showed them a better way. It makes a difference. It does. So if you have even if you're a fucking Instagram influencer, a small person's voice matters, but a person with a big platform and a big following, it fucking matters. It makes a difference. Once you say something, other people hop on it.
Who was your favorite artist that came out just talking this real shit, like in the past couple months?
The only one that really delivered for me, as far as like speaking on it, I would say Lil Baby's first. I mean, essentially, he did it in a way that resonated more than like Meek Mill's shit. He spoke on a different kind of way about it, but it wasn't like, it didn't really sit with me. I'm like,
Lil Baby's was different.
It
bro.
was.
Like,
It wasn't.
You wouldn't have thought it would have came from him though.
Exactly, but that it bothered that nigga.
And I think like we had this conversation before. Like it was like a real like trap song, and it fits so well. And
Exactly.
we didn't expect him to go outside of the regular realm where he's talking about not only what's going on in the streets, but also like just the connotation of being from the streets.
Exactly.
And all this shit going on, because us like
because now he's with money, so he sees.
What's not even that? Like you grow up and you understand shit is wrong.
Yeah, for
know what I
sure.
mean?
Like he telling his niggas like, yeah, we still doing drugs and shit, but I'm gonna encourage y'all niggas to go out and vote.
Correct.
So he's like, he's not telling them you can't stop the normal street life, but
'Cause that's how
just
we
go
were
out and
brought
vote. But it's like staying on your P's and Q's, but here's a little added sauce to it. Go out and vote.
But what I'm saying is he got into, I won't say just him being rich, but him seeing another lifestyle, and money helped that.
Of course, the
think
influence.
if he was still living the life that he was living before, he would have the knowledge to believe in what he's believing in now?
I'm sure this definitely helped.
I'm sure this helped a lot.
around
I'm
the
sure
minds that he's
being
around
around minds
I think it just takes that
wealthy
platform,
minds to see what it's like on both sides of the spectrum. He realized, I don't know, I'm obviously just speaking out of assumption. I'm assuming that he realized we make a difference too. It don't matter what the fuck, where you came from.
Yeah,
you make a fucking difference and you matter. Because you came from nothing and now you got everything.
And that should debut third on Billboard.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what do y'all think about J. Cole's single? What do you personally
I
feel
was
about it?
interested to see when we were going to bring up music and then bring up what J. Cole said. I'm not going to lie.
Interesting.
It was interesting. It's interesting timing for him to come out and say he doesn't have the answers, but at the same time, he did drop some gems that people who are more woke or more familiar with certain situations need to stop antagonizing others for not knowing and enlighten them.
Yeah.
And then move forward from it. Obviously, there's a lot more said in the song than just that, but in that part spoke out to me because it's kind of like can you blame him though? You don't see anything, but honestly, all of these activists, not all of them, but a lot of them, they're angry with the people for not knowing better. But damn, if you don't know better, show me better.
Yeah,
show me better. Like, I've had plenty of people reach out to me and say, well, when you say voting, what do you mean? Not only the people that spoke back about, you know, the defunding the police station, all that. There's some people who genuinely asked me, actually, your homeboy, what's his name? Raz. You know what I'm talking about. Your man.
Raz P. Yeah.
Raz P. Yeah, shut up. It's Kelly's homeboy. He trying to act like he don't know who it is. But he reached out to me and he said, you know, what do you mean by vote? And I was like, what do you mean? What do I mean? And he was like, no, I'm genuinely asking you. Like, put me on game. And I sat there and I had a whole conversation with him. And he appreciated it. And we had a good conversation from it. And he's not the only person that has reached out to me. It was just one of the people that I was familiar with. But there's been random people that said, you know, what do you mean by vote? What difference do we make? And I didn't say, are you fucking dumb? No, I said, oh shit, you really don't know? Bet. Let me tell you something that I learned about. Because I didn't know either before. And I made myself enlightened about it. But I only enlightened myself because motherfuckers were talking down on me because I didn't know better.
Well,
and then
we live
I
in a
made,
troll
you know,
society, so you never know when someone's trying to troll you. So when somebody actually comes out like, no, I'm like genuinely asking this, it's like, okay, number one, I appreciate you for saying that you really want to learn. And number two, I'm gonna let you know to like the best of my ability, you know, what's going on with this, you know, and that's how we continue to grow. That's why, like, you bring up a great point, just like Lil Baby or whoever it is. Like, Wale had a great project talking about what's going on today too, just using your platform to preach exactly what you
enlighten people who don't know, because there's people who don't know.
Yeah, it's funny because I had the conversation with individuals about like J. Cole and why he had to say it that way and why isn't he talking about something else. I'm like, or how they expect Kendrick to drop something now and all these. I'm like, if you follow their entire platform as an artist, you would have noticed a lot of the stuff that's happening and everything that they're paying attention to has been said.
This is what they do.
Countless amounts of times in the fucking albums. But it's right now at a very prominent time where you're like, yo, you need to go out there and do it. They don't. To me, exactly.
The streets is talking.
Exactly.
I don't need to say shit.
So that's why I'm like, bro, did they listen to Pimp a Butterfly? Did they listen to Untitled? Did they listen to anything? Or did they just hear it? They're like, oh, this is Kendrick, it's fire. I'm like, bro, it's a message. The man is literally telling you shit. He has set up everything. Certain things that I'm hearing in conversations now, like I forget this word. When I find it off the pod, I'll tell y'all. I'll be like, yo, this is the word that like, it just fucking like, it's so weird because you know those breadcrumbs and like different conversations with patients, mind you, just wake like. It's so weird. It's like euphoria because it's like a piece of knowledge that I was looking for, and it ties back to music that I listen to. And I'm like, bro, I can't stand with somebody who's like, oh, you need these people to. I'm like, nah, bro, they've been doing it. It's like beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
And he's like, now when they're like, all right, now the people understand, let them go do it.
Well, my whole thing
he's not being complacent in his silence.
My whole thing is like, you know my body, bro. You know what I'm about.
Yeah.
So it's like, for me not to publicly come out, because who knows what J. Cole and Kendrick, like,
they're out protesting too.
You've seen them in the protests, always. Always in the protests. Number two, you don't know what the fuck they're doing behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Like J and B, they were talking shit about them crazy the first like week. Come to find out, they did all that they can do to, number one, like fund everybody that's going through like COVID and shit in Brooklyn. All these people that are locked behind bars, all this shit. So it's like, people who don't know shit don't know shit. You know what I mean? Like, just because they're not coming out, these public figures that you expect to like come out here like, oh, like we got it. They're working behind the scenes a lot of the times. And also, you may not know the back end that they about this shit, bro.
Yeah. Let the streets do what they need to do, and they're gonna do what they need to do. They just don't have to be public. As much as people feed off of publicity, they want to see their favorite person say something.
Public
I'm like,
people
bro,
can make moves in private.
But I say if you erase all the titles and shit that people put on people, and you sit in front of them, what's the difference between that person and this person? Absolutely fucking nothing, because that's a human being and I'm a human being. They just did something that put themselves at a hiatus where it's like, oh, you got 1.2 million followers, but if you delete all of that, what are you? You're just no different than who I am. So, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, yeah, we would like the idea of seeing somebody we look up to go out there and be like, yeah, fuck this. And you're like, yeah, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? And it's a herd mentality. I'm not a herd mentality individual. I don't expect somebody that I'm like, oh, I'm so high off life for. Yeah, to be like, yo, I'm like, you know what? I got to do what I got to do. If I got to wait for this motherfucker to say something, that means I'm being complacent. I got to wait. Because if he doesn't say something, I feel it's wrong for me to go out there and say something. Fuck that individual. You're human. You're going to do what you want to do, regardless if you got the platform or whatever. For the fact that we're out here doing it and even speaking on it is doing more than some of the individuals that we expect to do it. But at the end of the day, if we take away everything, we're all on the same plateau. We're human. There's no hierarchy.
I'm going to counter-argue that. I disagree. I think that everyone who not totally disagree, you have a valid point. I get what you mean. They don't have to, go out and risk everything for it, or, you know what I mean, talk crazy out the mouth just to show that they believe in the cause. Because like you said, the streets is talking, and what you're doing is your actions speak louder than words. Yes. But for causes that you believe in and to back it, I think everyone who actually is on our side as a whole needs to say something for us to know. Just reassure it. Even if that was just posting the black square and putting Blackout Tuesday.
Mad people posted that black square that don't even give a fuck about what we do.
What I'm not talking about, like, I'm just, okay, so I did, for Sorry If I Offend You, sorry.
If I offend you.
Sorry, what?
No, you said sorry, and I just interjected and said if I...
But I did an episode on Sorry If I Offend You, and it was called We're Friends, right? And the whole segment, I spoke about how it was important for me that my friends spoke out on the issue. And that's not celebrities. These are my friends with hundreds, maybe thousands, you know what I mean? Like regular ass people. It was important for me. It wasn't important for me to get up and I was going to believe in what I believed in and speak out because I fucking wanted to speak out. But anybody that I dealt with or dealt with in the past that didn't speak out in this time or, give to a cause and I knew about it, I'm not rocking with them no more because they don't believe in what I believe in. So I think it's important for the artists that you listen to, the artists, the people that you buy from, the companies that you're in to at least acknowledge what's going on.
So if someone you knew didn't post anything, but they donated to different, organizations, petitions, whatever, just because it's not on social media, you're not rocking with them?
No, because if I deal with them, we talk about it in conversation. This is a big.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you're not having those conversations with these artists, but they still doing it behind the scenes. So what's like? Why do they have to go on social media?
What I'm saying is, they can promote that cause. They don't have to say, "Hey, I donated to so and so." They could just be like, "Hey, here's a link."
I mean, they can, but some people just aren't like that. Some people are introverted. So if they're doing their work behind the scenes, then why do they have to like post it up? Why do you don't have to post it up. Neither do they.
I don't, but I would like to bring awareness to the issue, and I think by word of mouth in the times that we are, it is important.
But you don't think seeing them in the protest is more powerful than just them putting the social media?
But it's posted, is it not? So
but they're not posting it. They're just there. They're not posting it. You know what I mean? Like J. Cole, Kendrick, they didn't post that they're up in these protests, but you see them there. They made music.
And you see them there, and they have spoke about it amongst other people, and we hear about it.
Right.
So at the end of the day, we're still hearing about it. If you would have never seen J. Cole, even if it's just, what I'm saying is, if you would have never seen it,
you're saying make sure you put your stake in to know what side you're on. Is what you're saying.
Basically.
No. Period.
Like I can understand that argument in a certain connotation.
That's what I'm saying. I don't disagree with y'all completely. It's what it sounded like.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't want it to sound like that, but I see where you're coming from.
His whole thing was, we know where these people, what side they're on. Just because they're not actively posting about it, they're in the streets.
So like,
but they made music about it.
Yeah, they have.
Which is, I'm not talking about Kendrick Lamar. I'm not talking about J. Cole. I'm talking about the fucking, like, if Kim Kardashian didn't say shit, but the bitch is all ooh, I didn't mean to say that. But the girl, the female has always used social media as her platform. That's more so what I mean. Like celebrities like that have to speak out. They have to say their word. Technically, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, these are artists that have always spoke about it, so we know where their mind's at. So I don't specifically mean just them. I mean the people that we don't know.
Yeah.
They do have to say where they're at.
It sucks because when we have to lead with the words, they have to, it sucks because
let me say
they should, yeah. But at this time, there's a lot of people who on the opposite end of that who say the same thing, but when they use the word like they have to, it's like putting a demand on an individual to, of course, they have to use that platform. And I mean, me personally, I would like to see it. That would, you know what I'm saying? I would like to see somebody like, oh, you know, Don Lennon, he cares about what's going on. He's going to use this platform. Or, you know, unfortunately, the way they have to go about with Dave Chappelle when he had to explain, like, you know, I'm letting the street talk. Like, why the fuck do they care about a comedian coming out and telling you that this matters when it obviously fucking does? You know what I'm saying? And that kind of connotation. So when I was using that kind of reference of saying, like, you know, I'm not going to sit here and wait for the streets leaders or for the
Some people need that though. That's
some
my
people
point.
because
I'm just
yeah,
saying
you're right.
That's my
you're
point.
right.
Some
I'm not
people
disagreeing.
Do need
Yeah,
it to step up and be brave.
yeah.
A lot of people did need it. Like, some people are in their shells. They need someone that they believe in to tell them to do that, even if it's their parent.
That's true. And it's like, it's not like really being a devil's advocate. It's seeing both sides of like certain situations of how we deem it necessary for individuals, and some individuals just don't deem it necessary because they're pushing it through. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of it's like on the teeter-totter. It's like, well, as soon as one goes up, the other one goes down, and it goes right back up. So I can definitely see where you're coming from. Me personally, like, I'm okay with seeing these platforms speak out. But I'd rather them watch too and be like, yo, listen, this is, you're watching pain in its purest form of us without needing you to do it anymore. You've laid the platform out. For the individuals that did, for the ones that didn't, now I can understand. Like, let's say Taylor Swift didn't give a fuck about like anything black. And her fucking, her discography and her following base is what? How many millions? Mm-hmm. She's got a plethora of people, or let's just say Justin Bieber didn't care, but he thrived off of it. It does make a difference. So for those individuals, I'd be like, you know, let's see where your backbone is. Cool. You put up a black square. I'm like, all right, you're somewhat aware, you're following a trend. At least you know what it means because you see it so much. But if you're completely in your box, complacent in your silence, now I can understand, like, yo, do you give a fuck?
That's what I mean.
I'm sure we've all been in that position with everything going on.
Yeah, I mean,
sure we've all seen people that we rock with, like, yo, like, you're not gonna say nothing? Like,
because people are scared.
I mean.
Yeah.
say a
Like,
goddamn thing.
And some people would tell me they'd be scared. They're like, bro, I'm like, somebody told me, like, yo, I'm just genuinely scared. I'm like, if you're gonna hate me for being scared, then I'm sorry. I'm like,
Get
bro,
a fucking dog.
I'm like, listen, if you gotta find a way to build your confidence and everything, I'm not gonna bash you. As you know, as a human being, be like, yo, you, like, what the fuck are you scared for? You know what I'm saying? Because maybe I'm built different and you're not.
That's what I'm saying. People are built different.
Yeah, and I'm just like, all right, you're scared. What are you scared of? They're like, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, this individual tried to hold their racist counterparts in their family accountable for things. And essentially they turned into the black sheep of the family. And this individual was like, hey, I just got good with the family again. And he's like, that's the only thing I really care about. And it's scary to I'm like,
fuck your family.
You know what I'm saying? In my head, I'm like, well, if that's how your family rocks, in a sense, in my head, I'm like, well, genuinely, fuck your family. But I'm like, I know where this kid's heart is at.
But listen,
because he's always for the, yeah,
that's
it's real. And it's scary. It's scary for him. Yeah, and it sucks because he's like, yeah, man. He's like, my cousin had a Confederate flag and it was just the weirdest thing being in that house. And he's like, I'm not for it. And it sucks because even when I try to speak up on it, it's like he don't want to be the black sheep of the family because he legit loves his family, as everyone should, depending on the situations, whatever the case may be. But for his situation, I just felt bad because I was just like, you know what, man? Like, I'm not going to expect much from you. And I understand if you're scared. But I told him, I was like, this is the time where you can grow. And I'm like, this is your chance to show where your balls is at, bro. Like, if you got them or not. And I'm not going to bash you for your individual and for what you got going on. I'm like, there's a billion, trillion other individuals that are actually doing something. So if I'm going to be bent up on one person who's scared, then I have a problem myself. But I'm not going to say his silence and him being scared is okay. He needs to come out of it and say something.
Honestly, what if his favorite artist?
He listened to our music.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that might give him some more strength too. Music helps you emotionally.
Oh yeah, it's therapy.
And when you're going through shit, and then maybe that might make him stronger too. Like,
yeah.
I'm tired of hearing this. I keep hearing the pain in my favorite artist's voice, and I keep hearing all these raps, and I keep hearing the things that are going on. Or my favorite person spoke out on Instagram today, and they said, if you don't do this, you ain't shit. Well, I'm going to show him I'm the shit, or her. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it does make a difference. It does influence. So
it does.
I do think it is important for people to speak out. Yeah. All people. But definitely, like, for those people that are more timid or, you know, that can't find the strength, sometimes music helps them find the strength. Or,
it is.
You know, their favorite actors, artists, all speaking out on Instagram that they're on all fucking day long. They could repost something from them.
Could you imagine one of Trump's, like, biggest supporters, like, comes down and is like, yo, this is fucked up? Wow. Like, if that person, if an individual in his corner could speak out on that, then I don't think anybody should ever be scared. But they're on a leash, sadly. So
you got to keep in mind, a lot of these people, like, it's just generation after generation of generation of just being embedded with this shit, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like when you don't, it's not even having the intelligence to see the other side. It's just wanting to see the other side. People just don't want to see the other side.
You don't got to be smart to listen.
Yeah. But you know what's so fucked up, man? I walked on, like, my pops came home from his trip or whatever, like, from doing work somewhere in down south. And he turned on the news and, you know, getting his glasses, just looking. I'm like, bro, what news station is this? One American News. Y'all ever heard of that? Mm-hmm. What, bro? It's a news directly supported by Trump that just says the news. And when you see everyone on it, bro, you're just like, wow.
So it's Fox.
Bro, it's like if Fox took steroids.
Oh, it's like that, like extra.
It's like the most racist shit you could see on fucking television. That's your news station. That's what it spoke out to me. And I looked at him. I was like, "Why are you?"
Black Pops is watching this.
And no, my pop's just sitting there. He's just like, "This is the only way I can see what this dickhead is doing on the other side." And he just wants to see. I'm like, "No," but after a while, yeah. But I'm like, I turned it off. I'm like, man, I don't want this shit playing in the fucking house. I'm like, if you want to watch news, like they're going, all news stations gonna tell you a different story of the same shit. So pick your poison. Like I don't want to hear.
You're gonna have to. No. See how they thinking over there. Cause
that's the thing, bro. Like they literally, I've never heard of One American News that has never spoke so racist to me. And it sucks because some people are gonna be like, no, bro, it's not racist. Why? It's because it says American on it, and you're American. Right? I'm like, bro. When you see it, bro, it's straight blanquita. You know what I'm saying? Like. I'm like, oh, it's a whole lot of Karens.
I'm telling you, I've told y'all about the experience I had with the radio show that I work with. You know what I mean? It's like an alt-right news network, just straight Trump. And I wasn't used to that shit. So at first I was like, yo, what's going on? You have to understand, this is what the other side believes, and this is how they think. And we had great discourse because they would allow me to say my piece, even if it was against them. So it was like they were open to having that conversation. But also you could see where they were like, nah, we're not having it.
Yeah, where they're like...
So it is important.
What's your last name, sir?
What up? Thompson.
Fucker. They'll be like, oh, you're all right. Bless?
But it is important, like, whatever side you're on, wherever you're from, creed, color, you have to understand what the other side is coming from. Just to, number one, be prepared for the arguments, and number two, you have to be able to see what they believe in order for you to prepare yourself to be like, okay, like, I know what I believe. Let's see what they talking about, and let's just go from there. Because you have the dialogue, or y'all just gonna be like this all day. Like, it is what it is. But you have to understand that's how they think, bro. You can't think like everybody thinks the way we do, and vice versa.
Yeah. You can't always think that the best way to get your point across is to argue. Because that's the worst way you're going to get your...
A lot of people just...
It's hard.
Yeah, it's so
hard.
But
it's like sometimes you have to be like, all right, and you have to come at them logically. And when they keep screaming and you don't entertain the argument, they have to sit back and listen to you too.
Yeah.
Because they realize, oh, they're not going to argue. You can't keep arguing you're not going to keep arguing with yourself.
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to stop arguing.
That is my thing. That's smart.
There was a Karen video, like this lady's berating the person. He just like recording her just like this. Not saying anything back. And she just got tight. Like, yo, you're not.
Nothing makes a person more mad when you won't argue with them.
Jay said it. What he said, a wise man told me not to argue with fools because from a distance, people can't tell who's who. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like, just let that shit go.
Word.
Wow. But on a more positive note, we've gotten a lot of good music lately. Boogie dropped some. Tiana Taylor dropped some. T Grizzlies dropped some.
Yeah, you got it right.
Who else? Who was the other person? Wale. Was it Wale that you said?
Wale dropped the EP.
Yeah, Wale dropped the EP.
Damn,
so we've been getting some good music. What's your favorite?
Listen, man.
Honestly, out of all of them, I ain't got no favorites.
Ah.
I mean, I listened to T Grizzly shit. I ain't gonna hold you COVID when he was talking about that.
Nice.
I like the message, but God, bro, the man's flow on COVID sucked. Lil Baby was just not the person for it.
I apologize. That was one of my, and his intro was pretty nice.
That's a Hit Boy joint that I was telling you about. So hard.
I apologize. I really like that.
Yeah, he got that grimy flow.
Yeah,
that
no,
West
but
Coast
he also
grimy
stepped
shit.
back and said, "Look, I'm stepping out of my frame." Basically, he's telling us like, "Yo, I tried that radio shit, and I tried to make what sold, and it didn't feel like me. So I apologize for not being the artist that I really am. But this is me." So here you go. And it was the second track.
This is the first project after I think it was his aunt who was his manager that passed away. You remember that?
No,
I
didn't.
The first time, so you
He
know
was
that he's
stressing
grown a
himself.
lot. Yeah. So like that, me personally, like the non-extra tracks on A Boogie, like I've been listening to like damn near all of them shits. Like
I like
A Boogie,
Ride or Die.
A Boogie, like Bleed is my shit.
Bleed is that shit. Bleed was the first one I heard.
It's my guy, man. Fuck with A Boogie. Jay don't fuck with him.
I like
Nah,
Secrets.
stop saying that,
Secrets
bro.
Is hard
It's
too.
true. Secrets is hard.
Secrets is hard.
Man, y'all niggas saying I don't fuck with Boogie. Boogie just sound different, man. He on with this guitar.
He needs to.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
And I like Streets Don't Love You.
Wait. How does he sound different?
Bro, he just sounds different.
He's still the
Bleed
melody
talking
flow.
real
He's still-
shit throughout the
No,
whole
he is.
thing.
Mind you, he is. I just feel like my boy is stuck in like a loop of a heartbreak.
That's
I mean,
his flow.
he is the
and
male Mary J. Blige.
He
so
is,
that's
yeah.
cool.
And I was
always
just
been
like,
like that.
before,
That's
like
how
when
he
you heard A
came
Boogie, it wasn't like that. It was different.
What?
When he
Let's
first came
talk
on,
about
he was
that.
heartbroken. That's how he blew up.
Damn, well,
That's how he blew
Fuck
up.
trying to-
bitches, fuck
Like,
bitches,
this is
fuck
how-
bitches.
Yeah.
Nigga, really fuck. So why you fuck with us? That was the first project.
All right,
He been
I'll
heartbroken
rebuttal
since
that,
the
but
beginning.
damn, bro.
It's just that he has good joints
Like,
that he just
what
goes
the fuck
off
I'm
and
supposed to
talks
say?
real
Like
street
that shit, whew, that shit was fire. But I mean, hey, it's the cadence. I don't know.
I believed in you. Should have told me you had a seed in you. This whole time you was fronting and I ain't seed in you.
He said, me and you two seed up, you and me in the Beamer. That's why I don't fuck with you. Fuck bitches, fuck bitches, fuck bitches. Come on, bro. That shit should
That's
be
just his
the
very-
national.
I like DTB
Blow
though.
up.
DTB, I definitely could resurrect.
That was from the beginning.
Yes,
So what
bro.
you mean?
That's what I
Listen,
mean. That's
but
his
that
first
song-
song.
Keep in mind, he
Blow
just
up.
went through that like big breakup with Homegirl.
That's
so
what I'm
that's
saying.
why.
He's going through like before he could be like A Boogie without the breakup. Boom, breakup happened again, and then you get Heartbreak Boogie.
That's what it is, bro.
So
I mean,
Artists
right now,
tell
I
you
feel like
exactly
he's
what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
So it's like he said, yo, I should have said.
I fuck with Boogie.
But I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I did listen to a couple of them as I'm going, but I'm not like in the mind frame where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna throw his shit on like boom. I guess I'm not like super big Boogie, like A Boogie fan like everybody
He
else.
said Big Boogie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that hit. Wale had a great one too, man. He had one that like sampled the Cha Cha Slide on there.
I do not listen to Wale. I suck, bro. That's one nigga I fell off of
I didn't listen to the Wale album because I hadn't been listening to him for a while.
for a while.
Real, bro. For the past, I can't.
He's always been real his whole career.
But it's like the past couple like projects. I'm not gonna say albums because I know not all of them were albums.
Yeah.
A lot of them were EPs, but he's talking a lot of real shit on there, and it may not be joints
Okay.
that you go back to every day, whatever the case is, but especially this last one with
It's worth
'cause
to
he's-
listen
he's,
through.
He's talking about social injustice, things of that nature that's going on,
Okay.
and also like, he still has like that DC bounce to it, so. It's dope, man. It pains me that motherfuckers don't give him the time of day. Just
You
give
know
him
what?
the time of
I
day.
will.
Just listen.
I'll listen to him because I didn't even know he dropped anything until I sat at this table with y'all and I was like, oh, he did? Oh,
Bro.
fuck
He
me.
said, "Oh, he did."
It's literally like 5 tracks.
Yeah, because I
It's
tried
EP.
to get back into him. I'm like, I'm an acquired ear now, bro. I've been listening to SIR or Sir or Sir.
But that's the
however.
thing, like you can fuck
He's-
with it, like
he's
I
nice.
respect
That's
it.
my nigga.
But you don't have to listen to it every day. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? Like, you be like, all right, I respect it.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I'm gonna take the time, listen to him, and be like, yeah, I appreciate you, bro.
That's it.
And then throw on Sir.
John Legend dropped too. I didn't listen to
No,
that.
I didn't
I
listen.
didn't listen to
See,
John
John Legend hit a
Legend.
feel, so that's why I didn't listen to him.
Well,
I've
he
been in the
dropped it
feels.
right after the Alicia Keys battle, so I was like, oh, this is a setup.
Had to be. All that shit was a setup.
We got Fab and fucking Jadakiss coming up, so I'm like,
Honestly, I'm not even at the point where I want to watch any of that.
But Jada would be nice.
Jada's gonna
murder.
Is that even a discussion, low key?
Nah, fat.
Honestly,
no,
to
don't do
some
it. I
people,
said
it
If
is
they
a
go to
discussion
mixtape
some
shit,
people.
I don't want to hear
Nah,
no
can't nobody
commercial, make me better shit.
Yeah.
No watch. I want to hear mixtape shit.
All right,
That's
mixtape
what I wanna hear.
shit. That's a battle.
That's what's going to choose the winner or the loser. If they just do like the regular shit, it's going.
You know what? I'm surprised Fab
But
ain't
that's
dropped
why
something.
people
Thinking about it because
that's why
he
anybody would think Fab would win that because they're thinking it's about to be commercial.
Well, because Fab like the slick talker. He got the
Word.
joints for the ladies. Like
he always interjects with some little double entendre or something.
Jada, see, what people don't realize is that even like if they don't go mixtape, just Jada's features. Period. Jada.
Oh yeah, and he always hits.
Never
Wow.
heard a Whack Jada verse to this day. It's a fact. We heard a Whack Fab verse. We definitely heard that.
Yes, this nigga. I'm just glad Fab ain't riding waves like that no more.
Listen, some people like well, you think about like the people who try to drop like like the Justice tracks and shit, like the Baby coming out with the remix to Rockstar, whatever the case is. It's like
Just leave it at is. Like, let that rock stuff stay where it's at. Stop tampering with it.
like some of them just like you mentioned earlier, the Meek joint was dope, but it's like
Yeah.
is this what we really want to hear right now? Like the other side of America? Like we know the other side of America.
Yeah, we do, and that's why I deleted the song. I'm like, no,
That's why I deleted.
nothing against it. I'm like, yeah, I heard
Yeah.
it, but I kept Lil Babies because I could play that over and over and be like, yeah.
Right.
And I feel like I gotta hear it again.
It means something.
Yeah.
It's something special about that track, bro. It's something special about it, and you could tell the ones that really, really mean that shit. Conway, and
Benny, yeah, with them. Oh my! Did you hear that one?
What?
No, man. What's the fucking name of it, man? It was
was it Frontlines?
Front Lines.
Fire,
on, nigga.
fire.
That's
what it is, man. A lot of people gonna use this time to just cater towards what's going on, and you could definitely tell the people who understand what's going on and have something to say. You know what I mean? So,
Exactly.
just be wary out there.
Are we not touching on Tiana Taylor? No one has said.
I have not listened to her.
First.
I know,
And
but
then
you didn't see her album work?
The whole shit is
Her
about
artwork
sex.
on her album.
love it.
I mean, yes, but black sex,
I don't-
black family.
I love it.
Did you specifically see how she made sure that
Everyone was wearing black and everything like that.
no, it was like it was a lot of nudity.
Nudity?
But they did like her and her daughter had matching high tops. And like
It's like the
it's very
throwback
black
90s
love. Yeah.
like house shit. From like, I forget her name exactly, but there's a model.
It was nice
from back
though.
in the 90s
Like
that
it's
had the same
beautiful.
aesthetic.
The whole aesthetic of it is beautiful.
I was turned off at first because I was like, damn, it's like 20-something tracks.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
though.
It was a
Fuck
lot.
yeah.
I didn't
23
listen-
tracks.
I don't think I finished it.
No, I haven't
Honestly-
finished it yet, but I've listened to probably like 12,
Yeah, I'm listening
13.
to it.
It's nice. So it's definitely like a chill.
She got
Yeah,
Lauren.
listen-
She got Lauren Hill on it. Ooh,
Of course.
got
She
that.
got
Erica
Lauryn Hill, she got
Badu.
Erica on
That's
there,
the type of
And
vibe
Elliot?
that it's
Okay.
giving off. That
I
she
like
needed
that.
those artists, to be honest.
I love like
They have a
I think
deluxe.
It's called "Come Back to Me" with Junie just harmonizing on it, and Rick Ross come. Oh my god, it's like the second track.
Bro, they got a deluxe
I
on
love
it
that
too.
joint.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't even peep.
And she's been working on this for quite some time. Because keep in mind, the Kanye joint dropped and all that. It wasn't the rollout that she really wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And then fast forward to now, she got this joint, and everything that I've heard so far, I love it, bro.
Wow.
Like R&B in 2020, like I had a playlist that I sent to y'all like mad long ago.
Yeah.
And there's so many joints that you could throw on there from this project alone.
Yeah.
Like Tiana's so dope, dog. Like the videos that come out of it,
She's
just
talented.
the rollout, the listening session. They all wearing like fucking yellow jumpers and shit like that. They got the Tiana
She
Taylor
came a long
mask
way,
on.
man, from doing covers over Drake shit.
It's true, bro. It's Harlem, bro. It's Harlem finest, now, man.
You know what's so crazy too? Like I wanted to be able to, like I'm at a prominent time where like my music is real selective, like I said. So everything just gotta be like real emotions, and I'm not trying to hear anything like oh niggas killing niggas and shit like that. Like I'm putting a little pause on everything like that. I want to hear like something real. Like I've been more so on the R&B side a little bit, so it sucks
Welcome.
because having
Welcome,
like Pop Smoke shit coming soon, it's like
Yo, that's R&B too. Niggas saying they outside.
So it's like
outside.
I never had the chance to like really sit down and just appreciate like Make It Rain. But it's just like I'm like,
you don't make it rain that woo weather. Damn.
Not on the mic, man.
Come on, bitch. I'm a dog. Blue devil. I miss my.
We do.
I see so many people like posting. I'm like, it's so sad.
It is.
Bro.
But it's like
they coming out with like the trailer or whatever of him actually acting and shit, like the actual.
This nigga was acting?
Yeah.
This nigga Pop don't stop smoking.
Auditioning or whatever. Like,
No, I did not see that
No,
either.
nigga.
are you serious?
Yeah.
What? This
We
nigga
gonna
was
show
out.
y'all. So he auditioned.
That's the young
apparently
50.
He got the part. Yeah, like he's playing a part that's very true to himself.
Oh, wow.
But like you watch the audition, it's just like, yo, he got it. You know how some people you just see like, nah, he understands.
Yeah.
He got it.
Just like how Joey Badass did the Wu-Tang.
It's just like, yo,
That kind of
you
roll
got
out.
it.
Wow.
Like you understand like what's going on. So
Yo, that's another person, man. That's another person. I mean, we won't get into deep about that, but for all y'all fucking individuals who just, oh my God, dogged on American Badass, that nigga was speaking about everything.
that's going on right now. By the way, I'm trying to find that video for y'all. But
Bro,
yeah,
Joey Badass needs to get the credibility he deserves.
we got Pop next week. I believe the album drops next week. It's supposed to drop like 2 weeks ago, but new Pop Smoke next week. I don't know who the fuck is dropping. I know Westside Gun about to come out too again. Yo,
I don't know who else is dropping. I haven't paid
Bruh,
attention
I
to
haven't.
music drops till they happen, and I'm like, oh shit.
everybody in Griselda drops once a month. I'm getting every month.
They break it up.
All of them drop every month.
Because they got a lot to say.
Yeah. But somebody brought it up when all this shit first started happening, and now we're starting to see it, and it's very interesting. Like, what are the projects going to sound like, and who's going to go back and edit their shit?
Oh,
You know,
for sure. You know,
seeing
people
what's
went back
going
and
on
edited.
now. So, and just seeing Lil Baby, bro. Like, his album been number one for like the past 2 weeks. Fucking, I forget the name of the song, but when he dropped the Protest joint, that shit is number 3
Oh, yeah,
on
yeah.
Billboard. So it's dope to see like good music actually being, and good projects being
Created at this
Lil
time.
Baby, that album fire. That album fire to
Shout out
this
to
day,
you, my nigga.
And he dropped the deluxe with the heat. So shout out.
Did y'all notice that that's like the new thing now? Deluxe.
They gotta get their bread,
Deluxe. It's so funny because we had the conversation. It just rolls out with their already hits, so it all adds up to that too. If they got hits on that too, it's just.
See, my
it's
question
fucking
is,
crazy.
does it add like as if it's another album as opposed to the first one, or is
It
just
goes
in
straight to
addition
the same album, I believe.
Okay, cool,
So let's say if you have 3 hits that are Billboard like top 10 or top 100, then all of a sudden you got 6 more songs and 3 out of them hit. Now that goes up.
Listen, I'm telling you, mark my words, they gonna get Billboard out of here within the next 2 years. But
They will.
This is another conversation for another day, but I think that's enough for one night. You know what I mean? Glad
Yes,
to be
indeed.
back out here. Good to see y'all here.
The
in
bigger
person.
picture.
The
by
bigger
the way.
picture
Will be
is
seen.
The Lil Baby joint. Stream that up. Make sure it's number 1, the greatest song of all time.
OD.
My.
I thought you was gonna leave with a better rollout. She said, "Bye." And we love y'all. We gonna see you next time on the next episode, Moon 14. Yeah.
Bye.